I need to talk to you. Draw the shades, a heart to heart, to give us both a heart attack. That's not how I wanted to start this poem. In fact, even the title isn't correct. Fuck. Everything is out of control. I wish Bo Davis was here to give me a swift kick in the irony. Emily Davis watching from the side of the ring, offering pointers until her joining in became painstakingly obvious, because her kind of empathy is always necessary in these lopsided times. Paint my mood on the side of an empty milk carton. I've been down for so long, nothing touches me. Not the angels, nor the demons. Even punctuation has left me in the cruel dust. Want to eat the cake stoned, without the status quo breathing down my neck. Tired of not having the answers to all these water-resistant questions, pouring down like requiems from a long-dead composer who could write the shit out of an opera, but when it came to everyday life, was scared of living and dying in equal measures. Green. Green is the color of money, the color of jealousy. Red, white, and blue is the color of my rage. It's not the snow that has made me a shut-in. The stick I was carrying got broken in half by the foul stench of unworthiness. When they stoned me, it was neither honorable nor out of step with the plebeian times. Dinah Washington called and wants her torch back. I ate too much cheese and started to feel like a rat. Making a sandwich for you was better than sex. I couldn't help myself and took another hit of pot. This time I used a bowl instead of a bong to see if the panic and anxiety wouldn't exist. I'm doing okay so far, and I expect I'll be able to push down the darkness, welling up like Bela Lugosi trying to score some H, or at the very least, leave more than just a shit-stained, mummified legacy. Green is the color of her thumb before she placed it in the air and got in a car with a serial killer. Green is the color of his jeans before fading under the hot lights. Maybe someday I'll write the all-American poem, because my optimism is the color of daydreams and ships to go bumping in the night. Red. It's blood, it's guts, it's shame, it's trust. Twirling around in the head of a pin, digesting all the news that's fit to print, vomiting out the orange tweets and blue money, revisiting change by playing checkers instead of chess. She let me touch her butt. First time in forever I've been that close to excellence. We sat on the couch and all of our foibles were hung out to dry, hugging her. The best breakfast I've had in this life. It's law, it's order, it's crime, it's noir. Basking in the sun like a California raisin. Captain Crunch called and he wants his crunch berries back. Disconnected the landline because I was tired of dinosaurs calling me morning, noon, and night. I showed her my penis. And she seemed impressed, but that's as far as it went. And I doubt we'll be breaking bread any time soon. Blue flowers. She writes like the wind, a pirate plundering blue marigolds, a mission statement turned on its patchwork head. The generic pills will not be the death of you. You've never allowed anything to slow you down for too long. A masterful witch who enriches everyone she comes into contact with. Poems coming out crinkled like an angry doily or a balloon animal retaining water. 1776 is America's official beginning of its nationhood. It's also the year you stopped making sense and I had to finally buy a gun and face up to the insensible facts. Paralysis has been kicking my ass since 2002, but it beats being put out to pasture. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. I dated an assassin who trained me in the art of excommunication. Juliet knew how to take a drag on a Camel cigarette like no one I've encountered before or since. Was going stark raving mad until I slowed my roll and realized everything really is better when it's sittin' on a Ritz. She writes like a steppe wolf hunting a Caspian seal. Been on fire since a blue-tipped match ignited her passion and blew up her mind. I am a mynah bird, mimicking the human voice. My dark brown plumage keeps me ever mindful that I can always take flight. Apothecary. I looked up at the pink sky, and I did not question. I did not waver. The perfect sentence is not the point. Perfect pussy, perfect cock, all just pieces and parts. I preferred the old McNuggets over the new. Preferred you before your subtext went dark. Nothing kills the mood faster than too many antibiotics. There are no safe words in the archaeology of wordplay. Go at it hard and pray your heart gives out before your spine cracks in half. The best artists are sadists, not hopeless romantics, and never shall the two tango. I looked into her eyes and found only topsoil. Checked my surprise at the door and rode into the well-mannered sunset. Desert or dessert. Syrian ruins, heart fragments. Our desire to drive with you through the antique robotic deserts, lose ourselves in the splintered mirrors of disenchanted time and expanding space. We choose to either be a hero or a villain before we're even born. We make allowances for our weaknesses while ramping up our strengths with interfaith. I wanted love. You wanted dessert. I was out of my depth. You were only concerned with the calories. Fairy tales do come true, Diotima, if you're willing to suspend disbelief and focus on self-preservation. Captive audience. The laugh track in your heart keeps you free from lonesome fear and disarming truth. We brace for impact. I'm a crash test dummy. I'm a servant to insolvency. She woke me up. She was the medicine I needed to heal my Salt Lick wounds. We start at the beginning, or we begin at the end, if we're stubborn and dyslexic to boot. I wanted to hold her. Wanted to know why she didn't hug me when she left the second time. Sex can wait. I've been without human contact for so long I hardly know which end is up. I'm a drug-sniffing dog. I'm a broken record looking to get clean. Riva. Shadow boxing with the fierceness of a warrior. There's no mistaking her beauty or big heart. Everything comes and everything goes until everything starts all over again. I so need to reboot my operating system. Find new moves that propel me forwards and not backwards. Learn from my past defeats and focus on present and future victories. Excuse me. I never quite know what I'm thinking until the thoughts pour out of me like quarters from an old beat-up slot machine. I took the road less traveled, and not only didn't I come upon Frost, I found no one who even remembered him. It made me think, and it made me cry, and then I changed my shoes and started walking into the hungry artist desert. Mentioned twice she lost 5 pounds, and I told her she looked good. I've not felt comfortable lowering my guard for so long I have forgotten what it feels like to be wanted. We spin our wheels on people we should never have given the time of day to, while there are other more worthy individuals just waiting to be paid some honest-to-God attention and loved for who they are. Thirteenth poem. Personally, I believe the unknown is blessed with us. I wrote this for Nathan Ford. Another dig, another poem, another Saturday spent wishing my daddy would take me for a bicycle ride in the metro parks. We love to feel left out. We love to feel the absence of love. We love to stop believing, because with no belief, the very real choice of disbelief can be left like roadkill in the middle of the dark end of the loosey-goosey unpaved street. I loved when she would surprise us with Long John Silvers. I loved the way her big ass looked in those gray sweatpants as she vacuumed and left nothing to chance. I'll never forget when she shaved her pussy, and I was convinced she had done it for another guy. I, of course, blew it all out of proportion and lost any chance I had of again fucking her into dictatorial irrelevance. Another excavation, another dinosaur bone, another poem I'll bury in the backyard of this windswept Zane Grey mind. We plan for the disconnection of self from torrents of undignified, ill-equipped glory. We purge the contents of our stomachs, believing whatever we ate an hour ago has only left us emptier and more uncertain of the unrested, shadowy coon's age dark. We build our hopes and dreams on Legos we never actually owned, as the kid across the street takes his toys and goes home because you never played well with others. Another porno, shot in poor light and poorer excuses for self-flagellation. Another worthwhile cause, strung up by its hamstrings and left blistering in the unorthodox, non-redeemable sun. Another stab at pinning the tail on a donkey that brays for no other reason than it refuses to admit defeat and relishes both your attention and your unbridled enthusiasm. Sixth poem, Bend Over and Spread Your Cheeks. So this went out to Allen Ginsberg. Nearly broke my mind writing the fifth poem, but that's okay, I'll soon get over that. We must make allowances for all sorts of collateral damage when the shit starts piling up and we don't have a strong enough back to shovel it. Get inside the red wheelbarrow. and I'll push you around like William Carlos Williams, when poetry still meant something, and a human stain didn't bite you on the ass every time you attempted to return it whence it came. La Charity gets it. So does Provost and Smith, and a host of other lonely hearts that refuse to backpedal or meet their maker just yet. Dylan also gets it. No matter the myth he covets like a bullwhip or latest copy of the Ladies' Home Journal. The proof is always in the pudding, even and especially when their spokesman turned out to be a serial rapist who enjoyed pushing Quaaludes far more than Jell-O pudding pops. Some people lose their appetite before they've even gotten a bite, while the swift and dogged fisherman knows if you don't cast your line and wait quietly, you're unlikely to catch a single fish or have anything resembling a good time. We broke the speed of sound when we fucked like two astronauts lost in space. But that was nothing compared to when we landed and you stuck your middle finger up my blowhole. The chemistry we created would leave any high school science teacher speechless, because those who can do and those who can't teach high school science. And yes, I most certainly believe in a good education. But what I don't believe in is the Lord of the Flies bullying mentality that most schools now operate beneath. And I am not only talking about students bullying other students, but also teachers bullying students and students bullying teachers. Bring an apple to school, get ridiculed. Bring a semi-automatic rifle to school and show your classmates how it's really done. We're so far down the rabbit hole. It's beyond not funny how desensitized we've all become to the next assault, the next massacre that will occur before I've even finished this poem. And if you think a failed and bankrupted businessman who respects no one and only wants what he can get for himself and his entitled, pampered family will make America great again, well, good luck with that. Because he only ran for office to prove to everyone that he could. And now that he's won, he's doing his best to hide behind family and Twitter and any other distraction that keeps us from seeing him leave the stage before the tank is lowered into the water and we're led to believe he's inside with only minutes to escape. I've lost confidence with our public officials around the time they started throwing around the word homeland. For me, that was just too close to comfort with the fatherland and the Nazis and a failed evil regime that never should have existed in the first place. The pundits calling Trump a genius for how he won the Republican nomination and then the presidency are dead wrong. Because there's nothing genius, or for that matter even smart, in tearing into your opponents like a pit bull on steroids. And there's also not much to be said about an opportunist that uses race to stir up the masses and then drive it home with an extra helping of populism to make sure the swarm is properly induced to do their bidding. Nearly broke open my skull writing the last poem, but that's nothing to how I feel now. I've never felt more broken down or disgusted, but after 8 years believing there might be a chance for us to come together and make a difference, I guess it's no surprise. We're more divided than ever. As the Liberty Bell cracks all over again, and we the people are taken out back behind the woodshed and whipped to an inch of our red, white, and blue lives with a brand new switch that resembles the old sickle and hammer. Thank you so much for listening. This was one bear of a reading to get done, and I'm so glad that I did, and I really hope you enjoyed it. My name is Charles Eric Cicirella. Thank you.